Okay, hi everybody. I'm going to do a video today with my boy Jesse, and the reason why Jesse is because he shed about 4 weeks ago, and he shed again within that time frame, and that is really unusual. Jesse isn't a little baby snake, he's a good couple of years of age now, and yet, he shed within a month of shedding. So, and the thing for me was, there was no signs of him going into shed at all. I have to stop because, okay, I had to change the battery, guys, so sorry about that, and I'll try and get myself back in position so you can sort of see me. And yes, I've got a bit of purple and blue and stuff in my hair just for something different, but yeah, 4 weeks Jesse shed. Very unusual. I didn't see him going through that process. He didn't darken, he didn't go opaque, nothing showed me that Jesse was going into shed. Jesse is having massive growth spurts at the moment, and that's the only thing that I can actually put it down to, is that he's just growing and growing. He has just put on so much weight, and I'm hard pressed to get my fingers, that's how open they are. I can't, and it was only seemed like 6 odd weeks ago that I could, pretty much join my fingers together. So that's how much Jesse is growing. But the problem with the fact is that he didn't prime properly either, and so he didn't shed like he always has. Basically, the top of his head, he didn't get off. He got the rest of him off, but he left the top of his head on, and he left his eye caps on, and that's because he didn't prime himself at all, pretty much. I mean, yes, all the other came off really well, but he certainly had, and he still has some stuck on his head. But guys, I've been using vitamin E oil, just natural vitamin E oil. I do have capsules as well. This is a little bit thicker, not as runny as the capsule, but still perfectly fine. And I covered his head and his eyes. It will not hurt his eyes at all. And then I very gently, after that had gone in, I even did a second layer of it and waited for that to go into his skin. And then I grabbed a cotton bud and I very gently worked the skin off. I do know that there's still some on the top of his head, and you won't probably be able to see it here on the camera, and Noah is moving, so I'll hold this camera very still at the moment. But I've put some oil. I don't want to hold him because I've been doing that enough to him. Even though I had to hold his head to get that eye cap off, and he was so good. Like he's just so good about everything that I do with him, fortunately. As nervy as my boy is, he did really well. So I got quite a bit off. and I did manage to get his eye caps off. I do know there's still a little bit there, so you know, I'm not overly worried about that, because I do know when he sheds next, that is going to come off with his next shed. So, you know, he's just a growing boy. His head is just buffed out just recently, but you know, I'm just amazed at how much he is growing and how easygoing he is with what I do with him as well. He's I don't know, the jungles tend to always seem to be a little bit head shy as well. I mean, Lily is, but you know, I can, you know, lift him up, and it's just sort of going that sort of front on. But yeah, he's okay. So that's really what I wanted to. I'll let him go up here and chill on me a little bit, hopefully. I am going to let Jesse explore a little bit today, since he hasn't, well, I've had him out, of course, since he shed to get those eye caps off, but I haven't let him sort of go wandering for a little while. But you know, I was going to go outside today, but it is so hot, guys. Like, I'm avoiding it, and I just know it will be way too hot for my snakes. And it's, you know, almost, what is the time? It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and it would still be 34 here at the moment. So I need to be looking at around the 4:30, 5 o'clock, when that sun is starting to come down or settle down, or whatever, set. The sun starts to set. That's the words, gay. Finally got it. But for everything to start to cool down, because if I'm feeling the heat, so are my snakes. I mean, snakes hunker down when it's cold. Snakes hunker down when it's hot as well. You would think that snakes are much more active and so forth than they are when it's warmer. But in the reality, in the heat of the day, they're hunkered down in the shade somewhere, keeping nice and cool. And then they come out at night and go looking for their food, because it's too hot in the heat of the day. And whether they're captive or not, they still do the same thing. They are not active when it is boiling hot. They know it's really warm, and I do have my air conditioning going, and even though the air is on, it's 28.5 in this room, so it's not too hot for them, and it's not cold either for them in my room. So hence why I can let Jessie out and go wandering. And remember that, you know, their enclosures are what we maintain it to be. Remember, when you bring them out as well, especially in winter, to warm the room up for them, and in summer to cool it down, but not too cold either, because they're coming from a beautifully warm environment, so to speak, in their enclosure, to a room that you've air conditioned down to 24. They're not going to like that very much, and it's really not good for them in terms of, you know, developing a respiratory infection and so forth. So just be mindful of the outdoor temps when you get your snakes out. inside your home. Hey Jess, what do you think, buddy? So I'll bring him a little bit closer. As you can see, he's got some oil on his head because there is still a little bit on there that I do want to try and get off for him if I can. I'm not going to, of course, force the issue with him because I was more concerned about his eyecaps. The rest of him is good. I've checked him all over and he's perfectly fine. So guys, that's it. He really wants to go and go exploring, so I'm going to spin him around so he can head off in the other direction maybe, and he will go on up to the hangout spots that Jesse goes to. He knows this room quite well. He's not comfortable right now because he has more only of this end of him on me, so I have to get that to release a little bit. Come on, dude, you're okay, you're okay. Yeah, so I'm going to say take care of yourself and your family, and take care of your snakes. So ciao everybody.